Well, boxing, it's almost 50% shorter. So from his standpoint, he's going to need to go pretty soon. He's not going to be able to take 2 minutes and kind of dance around and look for a spot and, oh, well, okay, I don't really see it yet, but I got plenty of time. Well, no, in boxing, you only got another minute left. So he'll need to be more active and try to kind of maybe stalk Mayweather a little bit. But Floyd's been through this. There's nothing that he hasn't seen. And I'm not a Mayweather fan. I think the guy is a jerk. I would have loved it if Manny Pacquiao would have smacked him around, but he didn't, and he wasn't able to.
Right.
And Manny Pacquiao was a great boxer. Conor McGregor isn't. So I understand why they did this fight. The public apparently wanted to see it, or enough of the public wanted to see it.
Are they taking voting?
This is
fights?
Dana White, and this is Conor McGregor, and this is them screaming loud enough and keeping the hype alive for long enough where by the time Floyd Mayweather said, yeah, maybe we'll have some interest in this, and the money guys got together and said, all right, how much can we make off of this? And when they figured out how much they could make, they said, yeah, you know what? And then Floyd said, I'll get back in the ring for this.
Yeah.
Mayweather, he's going to make over $100 million off of this fight.
Wow, that's pretty good.
And it's for nothing. No title belt is on the line.
Right.
I mean, it's just this ridiculous hybrid fight that apparently the American public wants to see.
I don't think they want to see, but I think this is MMA's way of doing the next step up for them as a organization where people watch. One thing about MMA, which I don't watch it, but every 3 months or so there's something going on. There's a championship fight. They don't allow them to hold the belt and just do nothing for a year. You have to be within 3 months. The MMA organization is a lot more controlling than the other boxing organizations, and partly because there's not a lot of other MMA type of organizations.
And they've had like 200 grand events. I forget what, I don't remember what they call them, but everything.
But yeah, that's why, because it's MMA number 17, number 55, whatever.
Yeah, UFC, whatever. I mean, there's a couple of different organizations, but it seems like every month or so they're having another grand event. And that's big card, and
that's what you do though. And they put a lot of it on. A lot of it was on Spike. I don't know if it still is, but a lot of it was on Spike, or maybe UFC was. But a lot of younger people are probably into MMA and UFC than boxing. Boxing, I couldn't tell you who the champion was right now. I couldn't tell you anything about boxing. Boxing is so.
Look at Keith Idec on. He'll
so unorganized as a sport. And it all has, it all has to do, and this is something I say when people say, well, more sports are going to go pay-per-view or whatever. Pay-per-view takes away the interest in whatever it is.
Well, also
that's one of the problems.
Also, it in some ways it suppresses interest because I don't know that many people who actually want to spend $100 to watch something.
Right.
But at the same time, it certainly does bring in the hardcore fans because those people will pay.
And they will pay. But you know what? Any sport will tell you that, and that's why at Yankee Stadium, as Mushnick said, Phil Mushnick for the Post when we had him on last time, they're guests now. They're not fans.
Right.
Because there are people that go to Yankee games or whatever baseball games, and they're not fans of the game. They just go because
it's the thing to do, and they have corporate tickets,
right? And or they're with their boyfriend or husband or whatever, and or friend or whatever. Because I'm sure some guys don't like baseball too. But that's what happens. You get this thing where this mentality where we need more than just fans. So
exactly.
But the problem is when you if you're not there to watch the game with passion, or at least know who some of the players are, what's the purpose of going? You might as well go to a Cyclones game or a Ducks game or something. There's nothing wrong with that, and I've done it, and so have you.
Yes.
And they're a lot of fun, those games, because these players are trying, and single
they're
A
the future.
Yeah, there's single A baseball is, it's not bad. It's not the
great,
worst thing.
but it's not horrible.
No.
You can see the stars of the future.
Yeah, hopefully.
But anyway, brother, I'm going to say one more time. Don't pay for this fight, all right? Unless you want to watch Conor McGregor chase Floyd Mayweather around and throw a lot of punches and miss a lot of punches, and that is essentially what's going to happen. If you want to watch that, kind of mess, then fine. Feel free to spend $100 for the fight. But better yet, send me a check for $100.
Why not?
And then you won't be one of the suckers that I talk about next week for the idiots that bought this fight for the one-sided, ridiculous show that it's going to be. All right? So that's your choice. Spend $100 on the fight or hear my wrath.
That's true. Yeah, professional wrestling does a lot of pay-per-views, or they used to actually. Now, if you buy the WWE,
they had one, I think, a couple of days ago.
Right, but what they do now, if you have the WWE channel,
yes,
you get the pay-per-views for free.
Oh joy!
So because it actually helps the WWE in the long run.
Of course.
But it reminds me of when Antonio Inoki fought Ali, and basically Inoki was on the ground kicking Ali.
Yeah.
And really screwed up his legs for a while.
He had Ali wound up with blood clots in his legs because that was all Inoki could do. He wasn't allowed to grab him. He wasn't allowed to do anything.
Though Andre the Giant versus Chuck Webner, Andre threw Chuck Webner out of the ring. He wasn't supposed to do that.
Yeah, but you know what? Chuck Webner didn't care because Chuck was getting paid.
I know, but Andre didn't care because it's Andre. You don't screw with Andre.
Chuck Webner used to get cut for $50 for a fight. I don't know what he made for that fight, but I'm sure it was several $1,000s. Chuck made a pretty nice payday that day.
He probably made more than the Ali.
I don't think he cared about Andre the Giant throwing him anywhere. It's like throw him back to.
But if you remember just from that boxing wasn't helped by the Inoki.
No, it wasn't because the whole thing was a
professional
sham.
Wrestling.
Yeah. But the whole thing turned into a sham, and that was supposed to be an exhibition. We talked about this a long time. When they first announced this fight, we talked about this, that the Ali Inoki thing was supposed to be scripted.
Right.
And Inoki was having none of it.
No.
And so that's why it turned into such a fiasco, was because Inoki didn't want to play along.
Yeah. Well.
And Ali was like, well, I'll just.
Well, back then, the professional wrestling was. Not ran by. What's the word I'm looking for? There was certain things that the boxing commission was involved with.
Right.
Back then, so that was
sanctioned.
Sanctioned.
There you go.
Thank you. And then they said we're professional entertainment.
Yes.
And it changed everything. Let's quickly talk about soccer, brother. We got about 5 minutes. Tottenham lost. Your boys, Tottenham lost to Chelsea.
Tottenham.
What did I say?
Can't you pronounce this?
What did I say?
Tottenham. Yeah.
Tottenham.
We've gone over this.
I like Tottenham better.
I don't care what you like better. That's not how it's pronounced.
Anyway, Tottenham.
Thank you.
Lost on Sunday to Chelsea, my new favorite team, except for Liverpool and Arsenal and what are the other teams are there that I like? Anyway,
I can't say what I want to say.
Did you watch the game on Sunday, brother?
FCC. Of course, I watched the game on Sunday.
I don't know.
Where else would I be?
I don't know. Every time I see I'll see ads on NBC Sports Network, and they'll say Tottenham.
Yes.
I know where Timmy's going to be.
There you go. Of course, that's where I was. It was depressing. It really was, because this was, first of all, so many pundits. I hate pundits because most of them are idiots. But so many pundits are kind of playing on this garbage that Tottenham can't play well at Wembley because it's Wembley. There's no other reason. There's no real reason. All right? And then what happens? I mean, the Tottenham didn't play well at Wembley in the Champions League last year, and that's where they played their Champions League matches.
Right.
And now all of their home games will be played this season at Wembley. So what does the schedule maker in the Premier League do in his infinite stupidity? He schedules Chelsea as Tottenham's first game. Now, had they scheduled what they call minnows over in England,
what's that?
One of the bottom 5 teams, let's say.
Okay.
All right. Let's say they had scheduled Burnley, or I can't even say Huddersfield because Huddersfield 2-0 now, but they're one of the teams that was newly promoted, or even Newcastle, who Tottenham opened the season with on the road last week. But no, they have to play Chelsea, which won the title last year. So now Chelsea winds up winning this game 2-1. All right. Marcus Alonso scored 2 goals, the first of which was a absolutely world-class free kick from 25 yards away, went over the defensive wall, right into the upper right corner of the goal. Nothing Hugo Lloris could do.
I love goals like that.
All right, but people in the Tottenham group that I follow, the Spurs Army on Facebook,
Yes.
immediately, it's going to be a long year at Wembley. And I'm like, don't even start this nonsense. I said, did you see the goal that was just scored? What stadium in the world is that not a goal? You got to sometimes give credit. I didn't like the goal. I got to respect it.
Sure, how can you not?
I mean, it was a ridiculously quality goal. But again, like I said, Wembley, it's Wembley, it's Wembley, hysterical, and I tried to shut it down immediately because it was just so ridiculous. And then Tottenham, for much of the rest of the game, was pressing Chelsea. There was about a 5 or 10 minute span in the second half where Chelsea had Tottenham back on their heels, but we turned it around, pressuring. And then we finally got a goal, the tying goal, on an own goal by one of the Chelsea players. And now there's about 6 minutes left in the game, and I'm like, we got to get a goal. We got to win this game. All right? I don't even want the tie. All right? So what happens? Chelsea comes down. They kick the ball. Hugo Lloris, the goalie, gets it. And instead of holding it for a minute, he immediately distributes. And we lose the ball almost immediately. Chelsea comes back. Alonso again on the left side hammers a shot from fairly close range that goes right through Lloris's legs. It might have been the worst goal he's given up since he's been, and he's a great goalie. He's one of the top 2 goalies in the Premier League. But this was a bad goal. And then again, it's Wembley. No, we're playing a really good team here. I don't want to hear Wembley. I don't want to hear this garbage because now we're going to have a couple of games against mediocre to bad opponents for the next 2 games at home. And then Tottenham will win those games or should win those games.
Right.
And then I don't want to hear this crap about Wembley again. There's no reason for it.
Okay, well, it's Tim Leonard.
That's me.
Laying down the gauntlet for you Spurs fans. You've been listening to From the Press Box right here on 90.3 WHPC. My name is Rob Leonard. He is award-winning sports writer Tim Leonard. You're on Twitter at Tim?
At Real Tim Leonard.
And just as a programming note, in 2 weeks on Labor Day, the show moves from 10 o'clock to 9 o'clock. So we'll be on from 9 to 10. Big Ed will be on 10 to 12 doing the Good Gold Show, and then Colton will be on with, I believe it's the Country Show. So
To quote Bart Scott, can't wait.
Can't wait. I can't wait either. Okay, take care and bye-bye.
Happy eclipse.
Yeah, happy eclipse.
The voice of Nassau Community College.
It's all I listen to.
90.3 WHPC.
WHPC HD, Garden City.
Available on the iHeartRadio app.
The opinions expressed on air are not necessarily those of WHPC, its management, or Nassau Community College.
Responsible opposing viewpoints will be considered by emailing them to whpc@ncc.edu or by mail to WHPC 1 Education Drive, Garden City, New York, 11530.
Thanks for listening to the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Yankees win 27 world titles.
Johan Santana throws the first Mets no-hitter.
David Tyree makes a catch for the ages.
Willis Reed walks out onto the garden floor.
For more great sports moments like these, be sure to tune in to all of our fantastic sports shows.
From the Press Box with Rob and Tim Leonard, Monday mornings at 10.
The home stretch with Anthony Tardamella and the WHPC sports staff, Tuesday evenings at 9.
Sports Talk with Chris Muldoon and the WHPC sports staff, Thursday evenings at 9.
And Beyond the Game with Jacob Valk, Brandon Johnson, and the WHPC sports staff, Friday afternoons at 3.
All of these excellent shows and more are on the voice of Nassau Community College.
90.3 WHPC.
WHPC HD.
Garden City.
You want the news? You can't handle the news.
Dude, that's a little dramatic, don't you think?
News, wherefore art thou news?
Still dramatic.
It was the best of news, it was the worst of news.
Seriously?
Alright, I give up, it's just the news.
Get all the day's news all in one place. All from the students at the voice of Nassau Community College.
My mama always said life was like a box of news. You never know what you're gonna get.
On Unbelievable.
The WHPC